Yeah, I've had a lot more experience with the innovation space in Kenya than most because I'm also the founder of the iHub. And the iHub was really about how do we bring the people together who are trying to build things, the people with money to fund them, the people who can tell the stories about them, like yourself, and then help accelerate those people into building more stuff faster, or experimenting on more research, or doing more design work, like accelerating the whole ecosystem so that it moved faster. And what's been interesting is that we've done it. What should have taken 15 years has taken us 8, right? We're further ahead than we should be. And it's not just because of the iHub. There's been a lot of other tech hubs that are popping up now. We've got NILAB, we've got Growth Hub, we've got Power 254. These guys are doing great stuff, right? And we need all of us, and this is a very Kenya thing, I think this kind of pamoja thing, that we all actually need to come together and be part of the solution together. What's happened though is that we've grown from zero investment. I mean zero investment into startups back in 2010 when we began, to hundreds of millions of dollars now, right, across the whole continent. But even in Kenya, there's multi-million-dollar investments being made.
Mm-hmm. And so, growing these companies, because maybe when people walk into iHub, all they have is maybe a laptop and an idea. What has been the experience trying to grow the ideas and then accelerate them to the point that it's a viable business? Then they could get a venture capitalist or any other form of capital coming in to grow their business.
Yeah, is there really anything better than a laptop and a good idea? Like, that's really what you need to start. Isn't that amazing that we live in that day and age? So what's happened is, we've gotten across to the community of technologists that the idea actually doesn't matter too much. It's the execution on that idea. So it's great to have an idea in a laptop, but show us your prototype. And as soon as you can show a prototype, and then you do some market research, an investor will pay attention. Because if there's a market there, you can make the argument for this business to exist, right? And so I think what we've been able to do is successfully get people from idea and computer stage to prototype to investor connected. And now what we're seeing 8 years later is that we have a number of companies who are getting $2 million, $10 million worth of investment and growing.
All right, so let's talk about something that you did last year, the launch of Mojo, which is public free Wi-Fi. And from an investment perspective, and I think I told you before we start this interview, I just want to understand why you did that. And at what point are we going to see money coming in? Is this a money kind of conversation?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of BRCK, and we have a new service called Mojo Wi-Fi. And we put it on, actually today, there's 400 matatus around Nairobi that already run it. And we'll have 1,000 by June. And then we're going to expand through the whole country after that. So how does it work? Why does it work? Well, we leveraged our hardware that has storage, has compute, and it has connectivity, of course. And those are small data centers that can store both content and connect you to the internet. And so what we realized we could do is we could sell the compute and storage to businesses. That would make us our money, in which we could pay for the free Wi-Fi for the public. So yes, the free Wi-Fi for the public is not a money earner for us. But what it allows us to do is our business model allows us to give that away as a byproduct.
All right. Finally, I want you to tell me, because you've been here, obviously you've seen things changing. How then is all this high penetration of internet helping, high-speed internet helping people who want to build businesses, people who want to get from point A to B, build careers in the country?
So it's, if you want a 21st century economy anywhere in the world, you need power and you need connectivity. So Kenya's ahead of the curve in Africa on the connectivity side, but we're still behind the curve as we compare ourselves to the more developed countries in the world. And that's a problem. So what we're doing with BRCK is we're saying, hey, listen, we can actually provide that service. We don't need to look to government to solve this problem. We can make this a business proposition that's both good for business and good for the public, and we can actually do it ourselves, right? Now, why is this important? Well, a number that most people don't know is that about 80% of the people who have smartphones in Kenya cannot connect to the internet regularly. They can't afford it. It's an affordability issue, not a technology issue. They have smartphones. About about 45% of the Kenyan population, which is about 20 million people, already have smartphones. But 80% of them cannot connect regularly, so what are we going to do for them? Let's give them a way to connect for free. Now, how can they change their life? There's access to jobs online, there's access to information, entertainment, all these other things that you can't get if you can't pay for it. And once you start getting those things, well, then commerce works better, healthcare works better, education works better, all these things.